Imagine this. It's February 1990. A spacecraft 6 billion kilometers away, Voyager 1 turns its camera back toward Earth and takes a photograph. And in that picture, all of human history, every single person who ever lived, every war and every peace treaty, every invention, every heartbreak, every dream, it's all reduced to a single pale blue dot suspended in the darkness. It's breathtaking, humbling, and a little terrifying. From that distance, Earth looks almost invisible, fragile, as if it could disappear with one flicker. Now, if we can barely see ourselves at that range, here's the question. How could aliens, who might live hundreds or thousands of light years away, ever notice us? If we're just a dot, how do we stand out in the sea of stars? One possible answer lies in the machines we've sent out to explore space, our spacecraft. Take Voyager 1 itself. It wasn't just a probe meant to study Jupiter and Saturn. Scientists in the 1970s already knew it would keep going, long after it finished its main mission. They knew it would drift into interstellar space. And so, they decided to give it a message, just in case someone, or something, ever found it. That's where the golden record comes in. It's not a CD or a flash drive, but a literal golden record, with instructions on how to play it. On that record are greetings in dozens of languages, sounds of Earth like thunder and birdsong, pictures encoded in analog form, and music ranging from Bach to Chuck Berry. It's basically a mixtape of Earth, hoping to capture what it means to be human. Voyager 2 carries the same record. The Pioneer probes before them had metal plaques etched with images of a man and a woman, plus a simple map pointing to our solar system. Even New Horizons, the spacecraft that flew past Pluto in 2015, carries tiny mementos like postage stamps and an American flag. These machines aren't just explorers, they're ambassadors. But here's the sobering truth. Space is unimaginably big. The odds that any of these spacecraft will ever be found are astronomically small. They are tinier than dust, vanishing into the dark. Still, the fact that we tried, that we left breadcrumbs of our existence, says a lot about us as a species. We want to be noticed. But even if no alien ever stumbles across a Voyager, we've been leaving traces of ourselves in another way accidentally. Ever since the early 20th century, humans have been sending radio and TV signals into the sky. Every time you tuned into a sitcom in the 1950s or heard a breaking news bulletin on the radio, some of that broadcast leaked out of the atmosphere. Today, it's not just radio and television. We have billions of cell phones connected to towers, satellites orbiting overhead, Wi-Fi networks humming constantly. Earth is practically buzzing with invisible waves, and those waves travel at the speed of light. What does that mean? Well, in theory, if there are aliens living around Proxima Centauri, the star closest to us, they could already be receiving our signals. They'd be hearing echoes of our radio chatter, though with about a 4-year delay because of the distance. Imagine aliens, right now, scratching their heads over a faint pattern of frequencies that left Earth years ago. But here's the catch. Signals fade. Just like how a flashlight gets dimmer the farther away you are, our radio waves lose strength over distance. By the time they've traveled dozens of light years, they're almost impossible to pick out from the noise of the universe. So no, aliens are not binge-watching old episodes of I Love Lucy. At best, they might detect the strong carrier frequencies, the delivery truck of the signal, but not the actual content of the shows riding inside. Of course, sometimes we've been much more intentional. Instead of accidental leaks, we've deliberately tried to say hello. In 1999, after decades of just listening for alien signals and hearing silence, a group of astronomers decided to flip the script. They created an entire coded language, symbols for math, chemistry, elements, and basic scientific concepts. They crafted a message that worked like a Rosetta Stone, explaining who we are and where we live. Then, they aimed a radio telescope in Crimea and beamed it toward 5 star systems, including one in the constellation Cygnus, about 69 light-years away. Think about that. If anyone in Cygnus actually receives it, they won't get it until the year 2068. And if they reply right away, we wouldn't hear back until 2137. That's not just long-distance calling, that's extreme patience. And it wasn't the last attempt. In 2008, NASA sent the Beatles' song Across the Universe toward Polaris, the current North Star. Around the same time, a Doritos commercial was literally beamed into space. Yes, Aliens might one day hear about our snack food before they hear about our science. It's funny, but also controversial. Some scientists warn that announcing our location could be dangerous. After all, history on Earth is full of stories where advanced civilizations met less advanced ones, and those encounters rarely ended well. Others argue that the universe is so vast, the risk is basically zero. Either way, it reveals something about us. The urge to reach out, to connect, is powerful. But even if we stopped transmitting, even if Earth went totally radio silent, we'd still be giving ourselves away. How? Through what scientists call technosignatures, the fingerprints of technology. Since the Industrial Revolution, humans have been changing our atmosphere in ways nature doesn't usually manage. For example, chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, used in refrigerators and cleaning supplies. They're made of carbon, chlorine, and fluorine, a combination that basically never appears naturally. If aliens had a telescope sensitive enough to study Earth's atmosphere, they would notice strange absorption lines in the spectrum of light. And those lines would say loud and clear, something artificial is happening here. And then there's light, artificial light. Streetlights in cities, glowing grids visible from orbit. Many of those lamps use sodium, which gives off a very specific color. To an alien spectroscope, that's like a neon sign flashing, "Somebody down there built this." Even if Earth were just a glowing blur in the darkness, the signature of city light would be unmistakable. But here's the thing. Long before humans built cities, Earth was already advertising itself through life. Plants, for example, reflect light in a very specific way. They absorb visible light for photosynthesis, but they reflect infrared strongly. This creates a sharp feature scientists call the red edge. If you looked at Earth from afar, the red edge would stand out, screaming, "Photosynthesis is happening here." That signal has been shining into space for hundreds of millions of years. And then there's oxygen. Our atmosphere has a lot of it too much to just sit around. Oxygen loves to react with other chemicals, so it disappears quickly unless something constantly replenishes it. On Earth, that something is life, plants, algae, and other photosynthesizers. Alongside oxygen, ozone forms in the upper atmosphere, creating another telltale clue. Put all of that together, infrared reflection, oxygen, ozone, and you have a combination that screams, "This is a living planet." These biosignatures are even more powerful than our technosignatures because they've been steady and obvious for ages. Any alien astronomer with a good telescope could pick them up. What's fascinating is that we already use these same tricks to study other worlds. Astronomers today scan the light from exoplanets, planets around other stars, looking for similar fingerprints. They're searching for atmospheres rich in oxygen, methane, or unusual chemicals. They're watching for red edges on distant planets, hoping to catch signs of alien forests. So, in a way, the question flips. If we're using these methods, why wouldn't someone else use them on us? There are billions of stars in the Milky Way, and many of them have planets in the habitable zone. Earth is not broadcasting in a vacuum. We're part of a crowded cosmic neighborhood. And that brings us back to the big picture. From a pale blue dot in a Voyager snapshot to glowing city lights and atmospheric fingerprints, Earth is basically a lighthouse in the cosmos. Even if no one has answered yet, the signals are out there flying at light speed, etched into our atmosphere, reflected from our forests. Maybe some distant civilization has already noticed. Maybe they're cataloging us in a database of strange planets. Maybe they're waiting for the right time to respond. Or maybe, just like us, they're staring at the stars, wondering if they're alone. Either way, the mystery itself is what makes this journey so captivating. Searching for aliens isn't just about finding the other. It's about holding up a mirror to ourselves. It forces us to ask, who are we? What legacy are we leaving behind, and what would we want the universe to know about us? So stick around, subscribe, and join the adventure. Because the universe is big, the questions are bigger, and together we just might find the answers written in the stars.